Woo!
Alright, so the stream should... Yay, it's live! And now I'm gonna watch on my phone so that it looks like...
Wow, I got such a professional setup in here now. It's actually insane. I've got like a desk with a fucking webcam, a microphone, a little stand for my telephone to put on so I can like keep track of shit
I know,
on the social media.
I streamed with my webcam over the weekend, or...
Yeah, I saw a little clip. It looked fucking good.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I look all pro now.
Yeah, I could do screen captures with mine, and I'm like, yeah.
Sick.
I got like this Logitech 1080p 30 frames per second shit. It looks so fucking good.
Yeah, that's what I think we have the same one. You went to the Best Buy on St. Catherine, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I did.
Give me that $40 webcam.
It was such a good fucking price.
It was. All right. Hello. We're here. We both have new equipment, so we'll sound crystal clear and funky fresh.
We don't sound like goddamn animals anymore who have fucking entered from like another dimension where everybody sounds like mud. It's fucking cool.
The
Holy
mud dimension.
Shit.
The worst
the mud dimension.
timeline.
Where all y'all sound like shit.
Oh jeez.
I heard that.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn off my notifications.
Notifications, bitch.
All right. So, hello everybody.
Hello everybody.
So, there wasn't a podcast this Wednesday because we got tied up with work things.
Yeah.
And the podcast before that was a shit show. I think
it
like
was.
two people
if anybody
heard it.
caught us live, it sounded like fucking garbage.
It wasn't
and
great.
my mic broke literally as we were recording.
Yeah, so we trashed that one.
Yeah, so that's our lost episode.
We still haven't missed one. We still haven't missed one. There's just one that is unlistenable. And
exactly.
I thought about it and I was like, I could put it up, but no. Like, why would I do that?
No, literally nobody is going to listen to it, and if you do, your ears will fucking bleed. So
well, that's
no
the thing,
point.
because it was perfect for the first hour. And
and it sounded fine, and then about midway through, it just shit.
And it just kept getting worse. You sounded more and more like you came from a demonic...
Oh yeah, like literally by the end, it was like my voice being filtered through like a fucking... God, like a brick wall almost.
Yeah, just it wasn't great. That's exactly what it sounded like. It was bad. So we trashed that episode.
Which is a pity because we talked quite a bit about a whole bunch of shit.
We had a lot of good things going on.
Yeah, we had a guest and everything. It was fucking cool.
Yeah, I don't remember their name. It was weird.
No, neither do I. I can't recall.
Damn.
But anyway, so next time, we'll sound better. We got fucking good quality equipment now, so that's badass.
And we have a webcam, so next time that Ryan comes to my house to do it, because we're doing it over Discord again, you'll see our beautiful faces.
Yeah, and it's gonna sound real good.
Yep.
So,
and I have pretty much locked down an RSS feed, so anyone who wants to download it on iTunes, or I'm gonna look into how Spotify does it for podcasts too.
I think it's very similarly through an RSS feed.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get on that and see how things go. But
we'll figure that shit out.
Welcome to 2019. We're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it live in 2019, and you know what? It's appropriate that the first podcast of 2019, at least as far as our audience is concerned, is going to be with new equipment. Sounds real good. It's fucking nice. All right. So, how was your week, Ben?
My week, I gotta look at my notes real quick because it's been about 2 weeks actually since anything really happened.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's
been about 2 weeks of just fucking getting over the holidays.
The holidays, goddamn. Anyway, so my week was a lot of video games. I don't really remember watching anything. If it comes back to me, I'll think of it, but I don't remember watching. I watched A Quiet Place.
Oh, okay.
I finally got around to seeing A Quiet Place, and that was okay. The ending was weird.
I really dislike that movie.
There's a lot of logic holes.
I think that's my big problem with it. Not that it had like logic holes per se, in like the sense that the story didn't make any sense. It's that it broke its own internal logic really often.
Yeah, well, like the
That
thing that
family
got
should be
me,
fucking dead.
yeah, that family should be dead. The thing that got me was like, okay, you built a soundproof room to keep the baby in. Why isn't that where you are all the time?
Yeah. And just like the shit that really pissed me off was like, okay, these motherfuckers literally make so much fucking, like, they don't speak often, but they make a lot of fucking noise.
Yeah,
Like, if these creatures that are supposed to track you down by sound are actually tracking people down the way that the movie claims they are, then
yeah,
how the fuck is this family still alive? And it was just really ridiculous.
yeah. It was really weird.
The premise is so fucking far-fetched that, like,
But I really liked like one thing that had going for it that it was very different in the sense that it wasn't a horror movie that was loud and ominous the whole time. It was actually like uncomfortably quiet.
mm-hmm.
Another thing that I was like, that's stupid. Like why, like the waterfall scene when he's like, oh, they can't hear you because the waterfall's too loud. I was like, okay, that makes sense, but why don't you build a shelter there then?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
like it just I don't know.
Why
would you
people
stay
are
in this
stupid
weird
and horrible.
house? Like you've got a
This
bunch
weird
of rooms,
old
sure, but like
noisy fucking house too.
yeah, your
This
wife's
house
gonna
must have
step
been
on a
fucking
nail.
creaky.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, and then he'll scream and you'll all be dead.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Silly.
So yeah,
movie.
it breaks its own fucking logic
Yeah.
often.
But I had a fun time with it regardless. But
Yeah,
of
it's
problems.
a goofy ass movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, that's
And
another
that like
goofy ass movie.
it's like, oh, this is really cool. Oh no, okay. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that's pretty accurate actually.
Oh, you got out of the house. Oh, we're going with this now. Okay. Why are there aliens? Okay.
I guess. That's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Hollywood doing the thing. But
It'd be like that.
let's see. That was last week. I guess we need to section off the weeks from now on in the notes. I played a bunch of. Actually, no, I didn't. I started Pillars of Eternity.
Okay.
Very fun. Have you played it yet?
I have not, but I've heard many a thing. And...
All right, it is coming to the Switch. Just so you know.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So I'm gonna have to pick it up when it does.
I think it might only be 2 that is coming to the Switch, which.
Well, I hope they bring
anything.
I hope they bring the first one.
But it's fun so far. It's kind of Baldur's Gate top down.
Yeah, I've heard it's like a bit of
RTS.
a throwback Western RPG.
Yeah, a little bit. It's just Dungeons and Dragons.
That sounds fucking cool. I'm into that shit. So
Yeah.
that sounds kind of like my jam, honestly.
It's good. I haven't gotten too deep into it because I started it and I was like, oh fuck, this is gonna take up all my time, and then I got hooked by the Monster Hunter binge that is unavoidable when you like Monster Hunter, but takes some time sometimes. So that's where the rest of my week went. Pretty much was just. I was like, oh, I'll give Monster Hunter a shot because I figured out how to make it run smooth on my computer now.
Okay.
So it runs fine. And, Monster Hunter is a weird game and where, I love that series. It's one of my favorites. And, you can pick up the game that just came out, play for a couple of minutes, and be like, no. But in a few months, this will be my whole life. And that's exactly what happened right now. Which is I got it. I think I got Monster Hunter World. I pre-ordered it, so I got it as soon as it came to Steam. And I picked it up, played a bit, tried getting into it, but it was it's not what I'm looking for right now. But picked it back up this week, and it hooked me. I've been sinking many an hour into that. This, of course, coming off of my Nier binge, where I finally got endings A through E. Which
Holy
is the
shit.
main endings. And I was like, I'm going to go back and get the rest of the 27 endings. But I need something. I need a break. before I go through that. So Monster Hunter will probably be the main focus of my video game weeks for the next until I finish everything that's in it.
That kind of sounds like me with Smash.
Yeah.
Where it's just become the focus of my gaming right now because I want to be able to do everything I can with it. I like to play through, a game pretty intensely when I get it. Like I usually don't play 2 games at once. It's very rare I do that.
Well, that's
and then
the thing.
Sometimes I rarely take a break on one game to play another. I play through the whole thing. If I'm having too hard a time, I'll switch to another game. But I like to play one game at a time because it keeps my mind occupied.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. I usually spread myself a little too thin on games and play like an hour of each. So I'm still playing like 4 or 6 hours a day of games, but it's like 1 hour for each game, and I never really make any progress. So I always need to like kick myself in the ass and be like, no, focus. Just finish the game, then move to the next one. So I've made myself like an order list of games and like how I'm gonna finish them. Monster Hunter's more of a because Monster Hunter's not very story driven. It's just kind of like you go kill the monster. There's not any thick plot to sink your teeth into. It's just
there certainly isn't.
It's just I want the cool monster skin. So you go fight the same monster like 6 times. And every time you fight him, you come back with a little bit more of his family on you.
That sounds hot.
It's pretty good.
I really do wish I'd gotten into Mon Hunt. Because that shit is pretty fucking fun from what I remember playing. I never really had a console that was perfect for it.
Yeah. Well, the thing with Monster Hunter is you gotta put in, like, I'd say about 6 hours before you know if you like Monster Hunter, if you hate Monster Hunter. And like I like
that it's not system heavy.
Yeah.
That's something that I dig about it.
Just make your number go big.
Yeah, exactly. Make the numbers go big is kind of the best way to play an action game.
Yeah.
And it's got all those mini RPG elements that kind of keep you invested in the long term, but like the crafting and shit like that is really fucking cool.
Yeah, it's super fun.
It's just an addictive kind of visceral gaming experience.
It really is, and it's like it's super grindy, and where like I said, you have to fight the same monster like 6 times sometimes for materials, and once you get to high rank and need like super rare materials to craft whatever fucking thing you want, you gotta go like 10-15 times, and like it's one of the grindiest games ever, but it doesn't feel like a grind. Well, when you're in the mood for it, it doesn't feel like a grind.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
I haven't really... Well, actually, you know what? Since the last time I talked about it, and since we lost the last episode, I did make a lot of progress into Bravely Default.
Yeah!
But that's going to take kind of a back seat because my DS sound broke.
Oh, how did that happen?
I don't know. I brought it in the metro last night and it was working fine. And I got home and I went to sleep. And then I tried playing it today and the sound, just like the volume button slider thing, just doesn't fucking work anymore. And I ain't about that soundless video game life, so until I get that fixed, which is probably just going to be me buying a new 3DS, which I need anyway because mine is old as fuck. Like the analog stick is fucking gone. It's just a fucking
I was considering buying a new 2DS XL.
Yeah, well, that's what I want. I think I'm gonna get the new 2DS XL because, I don't know anyone who's ever used the 3D for longer than like a novelty 30 seconds to be like, look at this one shot, it looks really good, and it does look really good sometimes. But playing a whole game in that is just fucking impossible.
I only realized about midway through, like, intensively playing my new 3DS that, I have a new 3DS XL.
Yeah.
And I bought it when it came out, but my screen is slightly, kind of off.
Like murky?
Not that it's murky, like the joints attaching my screen to the console. There's a bit of damage to it that makes me worried to keep playing it. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'll buy a new 2DS XL when I got the money. which might be like next week, honestly.
Yeah,
And
because they're pretty cheap now. I think they're only like 200 after tax.
yeah, that's pretty good. So I'm thinking of doing that. I'm gonna go and pick up a new 2DS XL. I'll do the data transfer because it's really easy.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
gotta. How is the data transfer for it anyway? Actually, because I'm gonna have to data transfer the whole game of Bravely Default because I bought it on the eStore.
okay, so there is an app that you can use to do that you can download from the 3DS eShop.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, yeah, and it's called the Data Transfer Helper or
Okay,
something like that.
good.
So
Because I
it's
was
free. You can
afraid it
just
was gonna be a
download that
big
shit.
hassle.
Yeah, it's totally free.
All right.
No, I remember when I did the data transfer from my old 3DS to the new 3DS XL, it took like a little while, but not that long. You know, it's about a couple hours worth of work to get everything out on
Yeah,
there,
it's worth it.
but I mean it's worth it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you'll be able to make it work.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that soon because
And the
I do want to
new
progress.
2DS XL is a kick-ass machine.
Yeah, like it looks good. The screen being bigger seems like
It's
it
bigger
really helps.
and it's not a shit quality little screen either.
Yeah,
It's like a real screen, which is fucking nice. It's not that shitty
do you
screen.
still
that
get
even
dust
doesn't-
under the screen?
Nope.
Good.
Not with that one.
Good.
Not with that one.
Good. That was the fucking weirdest. Anyway,
I hate that shit so much.
it's
My
the
like
worst.
my old 3DS had a dead pixel.
Ah,
It's really fucking sucked, and then that's why I bought the new 3DS XL.
yeah.
And I
It's
also
that
wanted
black
to play some of
spot
them.
always kind of fucking nagging at you.
Oh my god, it was the fucking worst. It was so bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, now it's like not a problem I even have to deal with anymore. So it's good shit. Anyway, yeah. So you made some bravely default progress. Let's hear
Yeah,
about
I finished up Eisenberg.
that. Ah, that's such a slog. That whole area.
Yeah, it's super long. It was, oh god. Anyway, but it was fun. It was nice. Agnes did the thing that I think you were talking about, where she like saves them, and I was like, oh okay,
Oh.
you're pretty cool.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
the lava pits, I was like, all right, you did it. You're fine now.
Yeah. So you're in Eternia now?
Yeah, I am battling the mini boss ice golem thing.
Oh, okay, okay. So you're doing pretty well for yourself.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I how long to beat it, and I've got like I'm pretty close to the end. Apparently.
You're not anywhere close, quite honestly.
Oh really? All right. Well,
No,
I took my
you're
fucking
not
time.
You're not even remotely close, my guy.
Shit, am I halfway?
Yeah, you're about halfway.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
There is a fuck ton more
Fuck.
that you have to do. Believe me.
Oh,
I
boy.
don't think you're ready, honestly, but it's gonna be great.
It's okay.
They're gonna throw some twists and shit at you.
Oh
Like
boy.
some major twists. Ones that when I was playing for the first time, I didn't see that shit coming.
All right. Well, I am now excited, and I think I'm gonna just order a 2DS right now.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're gonna have yourself a good.
All right. So I did that, and what else? Oh yeah, I streamed on Saturday.
Yeah. Yes.
Or Friday night till like Saturday morning. So I streamed a bit of Devil May Cry. That's going pretty good. It's fun.
The first DMC.
Yeah, first DMC. And then I'm gonna go to 2, and then I'm gonna go to 3, and then 4, and then I'm gonna do DMC Devil May Cry if Devil May Cry 5 hasn't been out yet. I've also arranged a legitimate stream schedule, which I will start upkeeping, and I'll post that on my Twitch channel, which is Scratch Me Silly, very soon.
All right.
I played Lost in Vivo. Vivo. I don't know how to pronounce
So
it.
I don't know what this is, but I've heard of it.
Dude, I didn't know what it was either. All I heard was, holy fuck, this game is so scary. And I was like, I don't know. I play some pretty scary games. I like scary games. I like horror games a lot. I don't see how this could really switch up from the normal like scary game, you know?
Yeah.
And boy, was I pleasantly surprised. The fucking atmosphere in that game and just how unnerving and uncomfortable it makes you feel the whole time is
something else.
It's ridiculous. Like I never felt so threatened by a game, or like in a game. Like,
okay.
Just a constant like unease of like I don't know what's about to happen. Like I don't even know what's going on right now. The soundtrack and the noises and the audio mixing, everything just comes together really well to create a terrifying experience. To the point where I got to the first save room and just sat there for like I think 15 minutes to
wait. Is this Resi?
No.
What is this? It has save rooms?
Yeah. There's save rooms because I think the person who made the game was like, yeah, you're gonna need a break at some point.
Oh, okay. I was like, I hope I didn't mishear you in that.
No.
I just said I don't know what the fuck Resident Evil is.
Resident Evil 2 also, I did that, and canonically takes place in Montreal if you go by the skyline.
Oh yeah, that's true. I heard they used the Raccoon City skyline as Montreal.
Yeah,
that's pretty fucking funny. I have to say,
it's pretty cool. But I was super happy with the Resident Evil 2 demo. I fucked up in the stream and said something about one of the puzzles that was just wrong, because there's one that you need a coin, usually like a fucking talisman or whatever, and you slide it in somewhere. And in the original you only need one, but in the new one you need 3. But I think I got confused with Resident Evil 4 and said that there's always been 3, but
yeah,
I don't want to get called out for that. So I'm settling it here. But so
you weren't prepared.
No, it's really stressful that there is a time limit on it, so you're kind of rushing but also trying to take the beauty in. They did a really cool thing. I don't know if I told you about it, but I know I've nerded out about it before to a couple of people, where all the zombies have 3 layers of texture, and each layer has a hitbox. So you've got like the skin layer, the meat layer, and then the bone layer.
Oh, fuck.
So every time you shoot, you see like the newer layer, and like you can shoot limbs off, and they don't explode off like in Resident Evil 4. They just straight up like slide off in a gross, slimy, meaty fashion. It's really unnerving. It's really good.
That's pretty gross.
Yeah, it is one of the goriest games I've ever seen, and like the attention to detail and just the amount of effort that went into it is gonna. I don't see this game being anything but amazing. They're also bringing back Hunk and Tofu, because if you beat, I think, Resident Evil 2, the original one, if you beat all the scenarios, and like I think you had to beat the game 6 times or something, you unlock Tofu Man, so you get to play as a big chunk of tofu, which was originally a joke for the developer, because he's like, I thought it would be funny to have tofu walking around being attacked by zombies.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so they brought him back, and his texture was really good. Everything, like, that game's just beautiful, and the map layout is pretty similar. The events are very different. They changed a lot, but nothing has been in fault so far. Everything, I think it's a lot of adjustment to the fact that the camera angles now are Resident Evil 4, so they're third-person shooter instead of the fixed camera angles of Resident Evil 2 original. But nonetheless, very excited for that. It comes out later this month.
That's going to be really hot.
Oh, God. Yeah, I forgot. I don't think I mentioned it on the podcast, but my girlfriend pre-ordered me the collector's edition of Kingdom Hearts 3. And I used my Prime account to get it here delivered on the day of release. So August 29th, every podcast until I beat the game will be probably just that. I'm actually thinking of taking my week off the week of the 29th just to shove as many hours into that as I can.
Holy fuck, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'd stream it, but I don't have a way to yet, and I don't think I want to.
No, well, I'm gonna
I
have
want
to
to
come over and watch
experience it.
some of that shit.
Yeah. I want to experience
Oh,
it pretty tender and not have to focus
that's
on the
hot.
stream.
That's hot. I literally cannot wait to see that shit in
I'm
action.
so hyped.
I've been fucking excited
It's
for
gonna
that.
be fucking weird playing it on an Xbox controller because my brain is hardwired to the PS2 controller
Yeah, exactly. Like you're like,
and the
where's my
DS.
DualShock?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, exactly. In the 3DS and DS for me as well. I mean, I'm most used to playing it on the 3DS probably more than anything because I've played Dream Drop Distance like 4 or 5 times over,
Yeah,
varying levels of difficulty. That game is interesting. I
Dream
don't know if it's
Drop.
my yeah.
Dream Drop's
It's
alright.
it's different.
It's yeah. Like I feel like the game would have been better if the main mechanic and title of the game didn't happen. Which
Yeah,
is the
I don't
dream
really
drop
care for
thing.
the dropping.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, in Dream Drop Distance, you kind of have a time limit for how long you play as Sora or Riku, and I think it's
Yeah.
about like 3 minutes. No,
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 it's about 20 minutes each character.
20.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
If I recall correctly,
let's say 15. Anyway,
yeah,
it doesn't
it's
feel.
a significant amount
It
longer
doesn't
than
feel
3.
good. Yeah, 3 minutes is maybe a. No, it's because you have 3 bars. It's true.
Yeah.
You have 3 bars of Dream
And you can
juice.
upgrade and you can keep the bar going.
Yeah, because every enemy you kill drops them. But, like, it goes up by a menial amount for every enemy you kill, especially in Proud Mode. But anyway,
Yeah.
Like, that main mechanic of that game is just kind of the only fault on that game.
Mm-hmm.
That and the fact that, like, playing it on a DS isn't really that fun because you don't have twin sticks and you can't... Like,
Another problem...
The camera's not great and the, like, field of view is very...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think the field of view is kind of whack.
Yeah.
I also kind of dislike how empty the worlds feel.
Yeah, there's no NPCs, but I, like, limitations.
I mean, some of those open worlds are fucking open. Quite open. But there's, like, no NPCs, and it's kind of... I don't know, like, it's not like the rest of the early Kingdom Hearts games don't have that issue, too. But I felt it was a lot more glaringly bothersome and distracting in Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah.
Especially, like, when you... Say, like, when you're in the Hunchback of Notre Dame level, the City of Bells there, and you're in the...
Oh,
like,
shit, I totally forgot that's a level.
You're in Paris's fucking square, and there's, like, not a single person, and I'm like, isn't this Paris?
Well, I mean, the world's been overrun by Heartless, so all the Heartless are technically the people that were living there, right? So
yeah, I suppose.
Canonically, it makes sense, but it's still it's a weird it's a weird entry.
It is weird, but there's some really good worlds in that game.
Yeah,
they have that Fantasia world that kicks ass.
The Fantasia world's probably the best world.
It's so good, and that one is great. The Tron Uprising world's pretty fun too. Or Tron Uprising, Tron Legacy, sorry.
Yeah.
That one's pretty good too. Although it is a little weird to see, like, vaguely photorealistic.
Oh, okay. No, have you seen the
Bridges.
shots of the Pirates of the Caribbean world in 3?
Yeah, those look fucking
It's
uncanny.
fucking unnerving.
It is.
It's
true.
It's gonna be one of the weirdest things. And since 3's coming out, I played a bit of 1, and like I'm not gonna go through all the way 1 and 2 before 3 gets here because it gets here in like 2 weeks. Yeah. So I'm not gonna have time to beat them. But I was just kind of like, I want to like relive the fun, and just some of the lines. Sometimes you just laugh at them.
Oh yeah.
Like, our friendship is the best. We're gonna do it because we're friends. It's like, Sora, you have like a weapon. The only weapon that can hurt these things. It's not because of friendship.
It's because you have a weapon.
But the weapon is there because he... Anyway. Let's not turn this into the Kingdom Hearts
cast will come later.
Yeah. Once 3 comes out, I'll go deep into the lore.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to do a Kingdom Hearts lore cast one day.
Oh, God, it would be so good.
I'm ridiculously intimately familiar with it.
Yeah, me too. I watched a breakdown video earlier, too, and it was like, yeah, I know all this. Why do I know all this?
Yeah, that's the more glaring question. Why do I know all this?
And like I hate the like when people talk shit about Kingdom Hearts or the story and like knowing enough about it and you're like fuck you, but you're so right. You're super
you don't
right.
understand.
You don't get
baby.
it. It's because time travel and friendship and light and hearts and darkness and
and a lot of
no,
darkness.
you are super right. It is dumb.
Wait, this is really stupid. Oh god damn.
What else did I do? Pre-order Kingdom Hearts. Oh yeah, my neighbors gave me a fucking assload of N64 games.
Yes, okay,
and
so
games.
What the fuck did you acquire?
Oh god, let me go get the pile real quick.
Yeah, I want to see this. So for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, Ben's neighbors downstairs gave him a whole bunch of shit, like a whole bunch of old games.
Okay, I'm back. So, yeah, they gave me like, hold on, let me count from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 NES games.
God damn.
Duck Hunt / Mario Bros, because that's how it was. I have 2 Zapper guns, which means I need a CRT TV now.
Oh, I have one at my home.
Oh, I'm gonna steal it. A couple of like baseball games, so I mean whatever, and Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Whoa, with Mike Tyson and everything.
Yeah, with Mike Tyson and everything. So that's the NES games. They also gave me a NES, like the console in whole with 4 controllers. So I might pass that off to my baby when she is born.
Oh,
because I already have one anyway. So
yeah.
And I also got another N64, which probably will also pass on to the Babu. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 N64 games.
Okay, so what hot new N64 games did you acquire?
2 of them I already had, so Donkey Kong 64 and Mario Kart 64. Because, you know. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those. I got Mortal Kombat 4, 1080 snowboarding, Paperboy.
1080 snowboarding.
Yeah, 1080 snowboarding.
Fucking Paperboy, my favorite game based on the hit FX TV series Atlanta.
It's based off my real life, please, thank you. I got Disney Tarzan, the N64 game, which I didn't even know was a thing.
But absolutely must be the best game ever made. It better have that Phil Collins soundtrack.
I'm looking for an AVI capture device so that I can stream these actually.
Yeah.
Got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Okay, that's hot.
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six.
All right.
Pokemon Puzzle League, the fucking hype.
Oh shit.
Tetris. Well, I guess the new Tetris. Okay. I got Destruction Derby, 64.
Oh.
South Park,
nice.
Chef's Love Shack.
Oh, that's the party game.
Yeah, so that'll be a fucking time. And Dr. Mario 64.
Woo!
So my neighbors bestowed upon me a gift. And we'll see what I do with that.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
wow, what a nice acquisition.
If I find an AVI stream game capture thing, I'm definitely gonna do a like classic night stream.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. So that'll be good. Very
cool.
And I think that about does it for my week. Let me just check. Lost in Vivo. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it.
All right. So I had a pretty jam-packed last couple of weeks.
Yeah. I'm gonna touch on the stuff you talked about last week too, because
So let me just power through some of that real quick.
Yeah.
So I saw 3 movies the other week because my partner was visiting. So we went to see a whole bunch of films. First movie we saw was Aquaman,
Wet Thor,
and I really, really liked it. I thought it was, and it's just about crossed $1 billion internationally now.
Yeah, it's doing super fucking well.
It's the most successful Warner Brothers movie of the last 6 years, which is crazy to think that of all the superhero movies they've made, not Wonder Woman, not a movie that crossed over Batman and fucking Superman.
I didn't even think about that. Oh my god.
Yeah, not Batman versus Superman, not Man of Steel, not Justice League,
Nope.
not Wonder Woman,
Wet
but
Thor.
fucking Aquaman of all movies is the one that has crossed 1 billion internationally. And you know what? It deserves it because I thought Aquaman was actually really, really good.
Did you see all those articles being like, oh, just because it's doing well at the box office, blah, 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 blah.
This is what I have to say to them. It's totally okay to not like the movie, and I understand why some people wouldn't. But for the exact kind of stupid, dumb, idiot comic book fantasy crap that I like, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Because the whole movie itself is like I've been comparing it to a Wachowski movie, and that's, I think, the best point of comparison I can find, because it reminded me, if anything, of like Speed Racer, which is an extremely stupid, really, really big, dumb, like nerdy, completely like a tribute to a very specific kind of storytelling.
He's going over that cliff.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, not that Aquaman and Speed Racer have a lot in common superficially, but just the kinds of movies they are, and some of the editing, actually, to be quite honest, reminded me a lot of like a really fun Wachowski movie like Speed Racer.
Yeah.
And where Speed Racer just kind of fully embraces what it is, which is like a dumb nerd tribute movie to like a extremely ridiculous dubbed 60s anime. Aquaman is like entirely a fantasy action movie that has like extremely intense world building. Like almost every line of dialogue that somebody says has like a bit of like jargon that only makes sense within the context of the movie. So like, you know, somebody will be like, you have to unite the 7 kingdoms. What are the 7 kingdoms? Oh, that's the kingdom of the Brine, Zebul, Atlantis, like all that sort of shit like that. Like there's just so much nerd love shoved into this movie. It's really, really fun. There's stuff about it that I think is kind of not great. Like some of the script isn't fantastic. But a lot of the script is ergonomic. It's not well written, but it communicates everything the audience needs to know about its world efficiently. It doesn't do it as well as it could, but it succeeds. Yeah. Which is honestly remarkable considering just the sheer amount of bullshit they had to shove into this for it to be like a coherent narrative, because they had to do the dirty deed of explaining Aquaman's entire origin story, and they had to flesh out Atlantis as like a believable society, and then the 6 other ocean kingdoms too, and then they had to explain who Orm is, why Orm wants what he wants. They had to do Black Manta's origin. They had to show Aquaman's mom. They had to show the Trench, who are like characters from the comic that really aren't even that necessary to this plot, but they brought them in because they're like, hey, that's a thing from the comics that would be cool to have in the movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it's not, because that's the thing, like, with Aquaman, it's not your Spider-Man, right? Everyone knows Spider-Man's origin. You can't homecoming an Aquaman movie where you just skip over the whole origin because we've seen it fucking
People are going to be like, so he's just a man from the water? Like, no.
He's just a water man.
There's an extreme amount of lore going on in Aquaman's world. Like,
and from what you're saying, like, they seem to have done it well enough to make it as accessible as it can to everyone.
Absolutely.
Especially catering to people who haven't seen anybody who don't know anything about Aquaman.
Oh yeah, this movie doesn't even like make any effort to like reference the previous DC movies. There is some lip service paid to Justice League where they're like, "You fought Steppenwolf," and he's like, "Yep, I did, I guess. Anyway, fuck off."
Please leave me alone.
Exactly. But a lot of the movie is just kind of intensely focused on like a quest narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the premise of the movie is Aquaman and Mera, who's not his wife here, but in the comics they're married. She's kind of like reluctantly working with him in this, and then they fall in love throughout the movie because that's how movies work. But anyway, Aquaman and Mera have to go and retrieve the trident that belonged to the king that founded Atlantis, but also who was the king whose hubris got the city sunk.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have to recover this magical trident, and whoever has the trident basically has not only default dominion over Atlantis as a kingdom, but also can control like the seas and command the seas to do your will. So they have to find the trident before Aquaman's half brother Orm, who is his younger brother, and he's played by Patrick Wilson, can basically strong arm the other kingdoms under the ocean into joining Atlantis, and then forming for him a huge army that he will use to invade the surface world and destroy everybody who lives there. So there's like a lot of kind of setup to the movie, and I want to say about the first 40 minutes is them just kind of getting to Atlantis and doing all the work that has to be done for the story before they go there. And then the rest of the movie, and it's a long movie, is primarily set in the water or outside the water or just like in the vicinity of Atlantis and all these different ocean kingdoms. So there's like crab people, merman, Black Manta shows up for a significant amount of the movie to have like I want to say about a 20-minute long fight scene with Aquaman and Mera, which is really good. Like just a whole bunch of really cool shit occurs in the movie, and it's one of those things that like it's so visually arresting that it's really difficult to kind of explain with words how impressed I was with it unless you go and see it for yourself. Mm-hmm. So I just tell people, I mean, the movie doesn't really need your help. You can wait for it, but definitely go see this in the theater if you can.
Yeah.
It's like the kind of movie you go to the theater to see. It's fantastic.
Should I get that D-Box?
Exactly. Yeah, if you can, totally. That would be great. So Aquaman is really, really fun. I really had a great time with it. Next, we saw Bumblebee. Bumblebee is a movie that I literally have not stopped thinking about since I saw it, which is all kinds of good in my opinion, because it's rare that I go to the theater to see a blockbuster that really invests me so hard in what it's doing that I can't help but think about it.
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing that 5-6 years ago or something, had I seen this, I would be on the fan fiction train. I'd have been sitting there writing fan fiction about this, and because this shit has
that's the thing, right?
My imagination.
You kind of went into 2 movies now with not low expectations, but a kind of no
reservations.
No one really knew what to expect, because the Transformers movie has let us down before, and Aquaman was just kind of a gamble at best.
It really was. And I had faith in Aquaman because I liked the director and cast, and I liked kind of what I was seeing.
Yeah, I think Jason Momoa really added to the Aquaman hype.
Yes, he did. He built up a sufficient amount of hype for the movie, and he delivered. So that's great.
Yeah,
I'm happy for. Actually, just one more thing about Aquaman before I get on to Bumblebee. How impressive is it that the movie is led by an indigenous actor, and the movie itself is directed by an Asian man? That must be some sort of unprecedented level of success for an indigenous actor to be the lead in a big budget Hollywood movie of this scale and level of financial success.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. I'm really happy for Jason. And for the whole crew. They did a tremendously good job. But the success that they're seeing, I think, is totally deserved. It's, it's a little stupid to kind of applaud the success of a big tentpole movie because it's corporation make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And it is kind of, I kind of see why that would be kind of dumb. But I honestly I praise the artistry behind the product. They produced something that clearly a lot of people were interested in giving their money to, and I don't think it's some dishonest, insincere garbage the way some blockbusters are. This movie was zero cynicism in it at all, and that was really something special. But anyway, to move back into Bumblebee.
Sorry, I tracked back a little.
Oh, it's all good. Bumblebee was something that I was looking forward to, mostly because the people behind it gave me confidence. It's the first Transformers movie to not be directed by Michael Bay. It's being directed by Travis Knight, who is an animation director, mostly known for his work with Studio Leica. He directed Kubo and the Two Strings for them.
Which is, if you haven't seen Kubo and the Two Strings, watch that fucking movie.
Yeah, that movie is magnificent.
It's so good.
Speaking of visually arresting movies that you can barely describe with words, God. That movie is stunning. Like, it's one of the most impressive stop-motion films ever made. Travis Knight has a way of kind of imbuing in the animation that he works on a sense of weight and gravitas, both dramatic gravitas and physical gravitas. So seeing him directing a movie about big giant robots caught in an intergalactic conflict is pretty cool. The fact that he managed to wring a small personal drama out of that movie, I think speaks true to his chops as a filmmaker. This is an incredibly tightly scripted and well-written movie, and the name of the writer, though she's a woman, her name escapes me, but she wrote a fantastic screenplay for this movie. It's at once extremely compact, but also completely and utterly like creates something that the audience can kind of get pulled them into. And it's a great introduction to the Transformers mythos and world and characters without being hugely focused on the grand scale of that conflict and the vast amount of characters. It's about maybe 3 minutes of the movie total are dedicated to characters that are not Bumblebee. And those minutes of the movie are great, and they're fun, and they're mostly just kind of there for the fans to suck in and kind of go like, ooh, very cool.
Yeah.
But the movie is really a character piece about Bumblebee and Charlie. Charlie is the main human character of the movie. She's played by Haley Steinfeld, who I must say is having quite the year, at least the tail end of 2018, because she's in Spider-Verse and this. And she does a tremendously good job in both of them. But yeah, Haley Steinfeld plays Charlie, who's a girl just on the verge of turning 18, who is kind of burnt out. She's not really enjoying the tail end of her adolescence. Her mother and father, well, her father has passed away, and her mother has already kind of moved on and found a man who she's married. So Haley Steinfeld, she hasn't gotten over her father's death yet, and so she's kind of there contending with the notion that her mother's already moved on and she hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So she's bitter towards her family. She's bitter towards her little brother. She's bitter towards her stepfather. And she's generally not having such a great time. She's kind of, just a bit of an outcast. And she'd rather spend time in her garage repairing the car that her and her dad were working on together than doing anything with anybody her own age. She's lonely and she needs a friend. So she's really lucky when Bumblebee kind of lands into her life. So Bumblebee enters the movie like this. Let me just kind of establish what the first 3 minutes of this movie are like. You start on Cybertron.
Good place. Good place to start.
Optimus Prime lightly narrates kind of what the fuck is going on. There's not very many Autobots left. The Decepticons have picked off most of them. They're just a small resistance band now. Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, Wheeljack and RC and Cliff Jumper and a couple of other familiar Autobot faces are pretty much the last bastion of the Autobot resistance. They have to escape Cybertron in order for their resistance to continue. So they hop in these little escape pods and launch off of Cybertron to find a safe haven. While Optimus Prime sticks back on Cybertron to mediate the conflict, and then he himself will regroup with the rest of them later. On Earth, actually. But Bumblebee is sent to Earth to kind of prepare for Prime's arrival, but he's tracked there by Blitzwing, who's a Decepticon agent. And Blitzwing and Bumblebee, when Bumblebee lands on Earth, get into a conflict that ends up involving a small group of human military operatives. And this little fight that they have, I say little fight, but it's a pretty brutal fight, ends with Blitzwing, with Bumblebee dispatching Blitzwing, but not before Blitzwing fucks him up so bad that it destroys his ability to communicate through speech and forces him to kind of shut down. So he goes into stasis. So he beat Blitzwing, but he's damaged pretty much as seriously as he can without being dead. And he takes the form of a little yellow VW bug right before he
goes into stasis.
He goes into stasis, exactly. And yeah, this whole fight that he's had happened with John Cena's character, just kind of being witness to the whole thing. And so now Cena knows about the Transformers. And Cena, might I add, just on a quick aside, not distracting at all that it's John Cena. Like, he does an excellent job not notice his John Cena-ness.
Yeah, well, it's because he has hair.
It's just really, really nice to watch a movie starring somebody like John Cena and to not be distracted by it.
Mm-hmm. It's not like the Scooby-Doo crossover.
Exactly, which is just like, it's John Cena, and they play the theme song and he throws a fucking boulder.
Oh man, I want
Ridiculous.
there to be like an analysis of the movie where there's one part of Bumblebee's speech through the radio where it just goes bah, 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 and then like switches.
Da, 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 da. I should remark actually that the movie is set in 1986. So there's a whole bunch of fun 80s-y shit all over it too, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. Like little details from like the kind of music that Charlie listens to, like she likes the Smiths. And she's got a whole bunch of Smith shit in her room.
Fucking hipster.
And she opens the movie kind of air drumming along to the air drum, the big drum solo in Big Mouth Strikes Again. So she has kind of a cool moment there. But also like she eats like Mr. T cereal in the morning.
Mr. T cereal, fuck.
Yeah. So anyway, Bumblebee is like an incredibly compact drama ringed out of a much larger franchise.
Yeah.
It's mostly focused on Bumblebee and Charlie and their relationship. And the villains are two Decepticons played by Angela Bassett and Justin Theroux, called Shatter and Dropkick, who are triple-changing Decepticon agents who have basically come to Earth tracking Bumblebee's signal. Because Blitzwing basically found a way to track him that drew all the other Decepticons to him. Mm-hmm. But anyway, it's actually no, that's not what happened. Anyway, it doesn't really matter how they found out. They find out they find out where he is. They come to Earth, and they're kind of like, they befriend the military, and they kind of start allying themselves with the humans to kind of trick the humans into helping them find Bumblebee. Then they're gonna fucking call all the Decepticons down to Earth, and they're gonna slaughter all the humans. But they're pretty great villains. They're very effective. They're kind of the exact sort of villains that you would think that they are in a movie like this. Like, if this movie is very much like a tribute to like that Spielberg, Amblin 90s, late 80s kind of movie.
Yeah.
Kind of like Flight of the Navigator or E.T.
Okay, yeah.
So it's very reminiscent of those. So the villains are just kind of, they're not very layered, but they're effective. They serve their purpose well. This movie kind of feels like a mix between E.T. and The Iron Giant.
That's a good mix.
It is a good mix. It's very, very... There's even a moment in the movie in which Bumblebee has that whole thing where, you know, in The Iron Giant, the giant kind of wigs out and starts using all its weapons and it scares Hogarth. There's a moment like that where Bumblebee kind of wigs out and all of his weapons come out and he's fighting really brutally, and Charlie sees the whole thing and she's like, what the fuck? Like, the gravity of how dangerous an instrument of war Bumblebee is suddenly dawns on her, and she's really scared. Like, there's a great moment in the movie where they do that. So this movie felt a lot kind of like Flight of the Navigator or The Iron Giant or E.T. And so the villains are kind of much in the same tradition as those movies. Effective to the plot, but not wholly layered, and that's fun. They're a fun pair, and they're threatening, so it works. You're just kind of meant to hate them. You know, they're not extremely layered characters for a reason.
Now, is this like a prequel? I feel like I asked you this last time, but I can't remember. Is this like a prequel to the Michael Bay Boom films?
So here's the thing. It totally works as a prequel to those movies.
Yeah, because Bumblebee's voice gets ripped out and
exactly. Except it isn't. Like, it's a good prequel to the first Michael Bay Transformers.
Okay, yeah.
But because the rest of the movies kind of each do their own thing and don't really have much continuity between the two of them except characters.
Yeah.
And like some moments. It's not a great, prequel to the rest of the series. But
okay, yeah. But to the first one, it is.
Yeah,
so
to the first
they're
one,
essentially just retconning everything after the first one.
I believe the term for this would be soft reboot.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it works as a soft reboot of the series while working effectively as a prequel to the first movie. So it's like people who are familiar with the mythology from the first Bay Transformers movie, I say as if the movie has any mythology,
yeah.
which it doesn't. But like
deep
people who are only familiar with Transformers through those movies will have no problem liking this movie.
Which I think was kind of the goal, too.
Exactly. But at the same time, this is such a better movie in every way. Like, it's just not only is it a more effective drama, but like the action is comprehensible and easy to watch. It lacks like the sexism and racism of a Michael Bay movie, which is just really, really nice to watch a Transformers movie that isn't racist or sexist, because, that's not really something I thought I could say about Transformers until I, saw the Michael Bay movies. So yeah, it's nice to not have to say that this Transformers movie is racist anymore. Yeah, it's just like a well-written, well-constructed drama and film, and I'm hoping that the next movie that they do is like an Optimus Prime focused movie that's both a sequel to this as well as an effective solo outing for Prime. It would totally work, because Prime, for like the brief 2 minutes he's in the movie, kicks so much fucking ass, it's insane. It's one of the coolest shit ever to see him basically do that whole fight from like the 2000 and the 1986 Transformers movie, like the 80s movie.
Yeah.
There's like that whole scene at the beginning where he and Megatron fight, and he's wasting all those Decepticons, and he's jumping and shit in the fucking air. There's literally like a whole sequence on Cybertron at the beginning of the movie where he's doing just that. And there's even another little tribute to the 1986 movie in the soundtrack, because very briefly in a scene they play "The Touch" by Stan Bush, which is really cool. So yeah, no, it's a fun little movie. Bumblebee is great. I would recommend anybody go and see it. It's not only is it just like an excellently made movie, but like as a Transformers fan, I'm totally satisfied if this is the creative direction of the movies going forward. Like, they've actually managed to boil down exactly what it is I like about this series and these characters into a film, and for it to communicate more than just action, but to actually convey a story and a world and a coherence that those Bay movies don't have. So this was a really, really fun film. I recommend it. Then I saw Spider-Verse. I'm not going to linger too hard on Spider-Verse.
Yeah, because I'm going to go see that fucking Tuesday.
Yeah, and I know that you're probably going to get so much out of it, and you're going to want to talk a lot about it next week.
Yeah, so we'll be able to dive into that. The only thing I've seen so far is a couple of those really fucking rad videos where it's horizontal split screen, and you've got the screenplay on the bottom and like what's happening, like the animated part of the screenplay. Yeah. Like, I've seen a couple of those, but I didn't watch too far in either, because I was like, I don't want anything to pop up that I don't want to see. But
yes,
it's fucking the animation, the love that went into that.
It was pretty impressive. So I guess all I have to say about Spider-Man is if you haven't seen it, go fucking see it. Ben, go see it.
Yeah,
You're seeing it.
I'm going.
It's definitely the best Spider-Man movie ever made, although this is definitely the best animated superhero movie I have ever watched. And that's saying a lot, because I think animation is kind of where superheroes have strived to be the most impressive and, kind of best in terms of adapting the books.
It's where you can get away with most superhero shenanigans.
Yeah,
without it looking like garbage.
DC has made like a fair amount of really good animated superhero movies, like Mask of the Phantasm, and a couple of those original direct-to-video movies that are pretty great. But just nothing beats a theatrically animated Spider-Man movie. Like this is just it's amazing. It's one of the most visually ambitious animated films I've ever seen. Like this movie, I'm excited for the wave of new people who are interested in animation that is going to come out of this, and the wave of people who are interested in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because this movie is going to make a whole generation of people fall in love with these characters, and that's wonderful. And you'll see exactly what I mean when you see it, and we'll talk about this next week. But so far, though, just like fuck, Spider-Verse is incredible. Like, what a great movie. And I'll say more about it next week. I did do a few more things other than see movies. I got Super Smash Brothers over the holidays.
Yeah, you did.
I have been enjoying myself immensely with it. I've been working my way through the World of Light
I was just about to
campaign.
say, how do you find World of Light? Because I have a few friends that are like, eh.
I really like World of Light, and this is why. Firstly, just to get it out of the way, I don't really give a shit about the Subspace Emissary. I don't really like any of like the single player modes from any of the previous Smash games. Like,
oh God,
I mean, insofar as they're fine to play, but like
Yeah.
I really don't give a shit about the Subspace.
The DS one wasn't great.
No, it wasn't exactly. I mean, Super Smash Brothers is best enjoyed as a competitive game.
Yeah,
So
it's a party game.
Yeah, you can only have so much fun with the single player. That being said, I think just because of the way World of Light plays, it's the best single player campaign they could have wrung out for the series. And I'll say exactly why. It doesn't have any sort of narrative that I give a shit about. What's most fun about it is it's essentially like playing the event mode, except every event is a reference to one of the spirits. So every event corresponds to a spirit. That's the spirit that you win when you beat the event, okay?
Yeah.
But every event is somehow related to the spirit, which I find really funny and good. And the whole thing is basically an excuse for them to create event matches that are, insofar as the nature of them, jokes.
Yeah. Well, I saw one of them as like someone has a double final smash, or like...
Yeah.
Just
so
weird
usually
things.
there's like a tweak to the fight, and it'll be like a cute joke. So like, say the spirit that you want to get is Ashley from WarioWare.
Yeah.
So of course you fight Wario in the WarioWare stage, but the Ashley assist trophy comes on, and you have to fight the fight while also dealing with the stuff that the Ashley assist trophy can do.
Okay.
That's just a minor example.
Yeah.
A major example would be something like, say like you're fighting let me try and find the best possible example I can think of. Let me get the game out here, and just to properly explain what it's like playing something like this. The whole thing is kind of chock full of references to specific characters. There's a huge variety of spirits, and they come from pretty much every possible place they can come from. And then all of this thing, like I said, is similar to the event mode. Fights take place in one stage. You have to contend with like special kind of conditions for each match, and they vary based on the character, but the shit that you experience is quite funny. So just as a minor example here, say you want to fight a Street Fighter character, like the spirit is a Street Fighter character, the fight is going to be a stamina battle, so it's an HP battle, and it'll be fought on one of the stages set to Omega mode.
Okay.
So you fight them basically in the same setting as a Street Fighter match, and then the character will be, say like it's Cammy, it's going to be Zero Suit Samus in like her green outfit.
Oh, yeah, okay. So like,
So every fight is like a little joke or reference.
Yeah, that's fun.
So even here's a good example. So you know fossil fighters.
Yeah.
You know how it's like it's dinosaur Pokemon basically.
Yeah.
One of the stickers or the spirits. Sorry, I keep calling them stickers. Is the fire T-Rex from Fossil Fighters. The fight is a fight on a lava floor stage, and the enemy is a giant. The enemy is a giant Yoshi, a giant red Yoshi.
Okay, fair enough.
That's what all of these fights are like. They're little references or jokes.
Yeah.
Based on kind of who the character is. So say you're fighting like, I don't know. I mean, the easiest example is say you're fighting like a Pokemon. Say like, oh, this is Salamence. Oh, so it's a blue Charizard. You know?
Okay, yeah.
Shit like that.
That's alright.
It's really, really funny.
I heard the main problem was that it was like fucking long.
It's long, but you kind of play it every time you open the game. So it's like, whatever. It's the kind of thing that you play piecemeal and you progress through. And what's great about it is that it's not like you can go through it and you can, whenever you unlock a character in that, you can use the character in the solo campaign, but you can also use them as a fighter from that point onward.
Okay, yeah.
So it's a quick way to unlock characters without having to wait for them to show up as a challenger. But it's also incredibly easy to unlock characters in the game in general, which is nice because the game has over 70 of them. So,
oh boy, they went in.
I'm still missing half the cast for sure, but I've been playing as all the characters I wanted to play as. I've enjoyed playing as Cloud, who is one of my mains from when I was playing it on 3DS.
Yeah,
I really like how Cloud plays, and Cloud is the character that I used to unlock other characters, specifically because he's extremely cheap and easy to like smoke people with. So I like playing as Cloud, but I've just had a fun time playing as Bayonetta now that I've unlocked her again. I've had a fun time revisiting playing as Snake, who obviously hasn't been present since Brawl, and is very fun to play as. And I've actually started playing as Pac-Man, and I've really enjoyed how Pac-Man played.
I don't think I ever cool moveset.
I don't think I ever even touched him when I was playing it on 3DS.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I don't think I even
liked his
tried him out.
in the 3DS. It was pretty fun.
He plays extremely well. I love how smooth he controls. It's great. Like he's a really fun character. So yeah, I've been having quite the fucking time with that game. I've just been enjoying myself immensely. And of course, it's just immense. Like the game is fucking huge.
Yeah,
I have so much more to do in it.
There.
Oh, I like playing as the Castlevania characters a lot, and I'm actually quite good with Simon. I had a really fun time. There's a whole part of World of Light where you do kind of like a Castlevania stage.
Yeah.
And you kind of move through like Dracula's castle, and I did the whole thing as Simon, and I had a really good time. It was very fun. So, and then you can go up and you fight Dracula. Like Dracula is actually in the game as a boss. And he fights kind of like how he fights in the first Castlevania game. So I basically played Castlevania in Smash, which was really, really fun.
Nothing is impossible anymore.
And there's a bunch of other fun little bonus characters too, like Marks from Kirby is in it too.
Something
like Marks
clicked
from Kirby Superstar
with me today.
Yeah.
And you know how Joker's in Smash as a DLC character?
Yes, I do, and I cannot wait to play him.
You know Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out soon.
Yeah.
Sora's been on a fucking Nintendo console for
He has multiple times,
actually.
Yeah,
he's been here for a minute. So that opens that up.
You know, that would be really, really fun. And his Final Smash could be one of his drive forms.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, the drive form would be so good.
Master Mode Sora. That would be fucking badass.
Or, you know what? No, even better, I want it to be a Trinity. A Trinity move with Sora, with Donald and Goofy.
That'd be cool.
I don't know if they'd be able to do that. But
anyway, they probably wouldn't, but it would be neat.
Yeah, that would be right.
They definitely couldn't use the Disney characters, but they could use Sora.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, that would be so big. I'd love that.
Yeah, I'd love that. And it also dawned on me that because Project Mira's a thing.
Yeah. Oh, you know what would be really cool about Sora? If you could play as either Sora or Riku.
Oh, yeah.
They each have 4 alternates each.
Yeah.
That'd be really, really cool.
I don't know.
Like they could share the same move set, but they'd be like palette swaps or whatever.
Yeah, Echo Fighter or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be
see.
neat.
It's just the thing that like someone mentioned today, and I was like, oh, that could happen. And like in my head, I was like, that's stupid. Sora's never been on a fucking Nintendo console. I say as Dream Drop Distance is in my DS as we speak.
Another thing that I see happening is because the new Dragon Quest is coming to the Switch, Dragon Quest 10.
Yeah.
Is it a 10? Is it 11 or 10?
It's 11, I think.
Yeah, Dragon Quest 11. That's coming to Switch very soon. And I'm thinking because Dragon Quest is so big in Japan, they might put like Erdrick in it or something.
That would be cool.
That would be really, really neat. And I mean, how cool would it be to just have like a Toriyama design in Smash? That'd be great. And it's like you'd have a Dragon Quest character, a Persona character, a Final Fantasy character, and a Xenoblade character, and like Link, and just a whole bunch of these adventure and RPGs characters in the series. That'd be really, really fun.
It is a dream world that is possibly attainable.
Yeah, it is. It's totally possible. It'd be really rad. Yeah, so hopefully that's something to consider doing. But that would be really, really neat. Anyway, so I've been enjoying Smash, and I also acquired a whole bunch of video game related things.
Oh yeah, you got
that are not necessarily video games.
You got those sets.
I did. So I got paid very handsomely for the many hours I worked over the holidays, and I decided to spend that money, at least some of it, not all of it obviously, on all the new Overwatch Lego sets. So I did, and I was thinking of maybe posting a couple of videos on the GamePunx YouTube channel of just me kind of looking at them over with my new camera or whatever.
I'm imagining you just filming yourself staring at them.
That's basically what I'd probably do. But suffice it to say, I think these are some of the best Lego sets I've bought in a long time, and I buy a lot of Lego sets. They're really well designed. They're all a decent price. Like, for their price, they're a good price to part ratio.
Yeah.
There's one pretty much in every size, and there's one of almost every type. So the sets go as follows. Oh yeah, and I didn't get all of them. The only one I didn't get was the Bastion set, which is a big buildable action figure.
Yeah, that one seemed like the least...
Yeah, I opted not to get it because it's not to scale with the rest of the characters, and I found that disappointing. But everything else I did get. So the biggest set is Watchpoint Gibraltar, which features a huge Overwatch rocket, like their dropship.
Yeah. And
comes with Reaper, Pharah, Mercy, and Winston. All of the minifigures, with the exception of Reaper, are actually exclusive to one set only. So that's really, really cool. It's a very impressive build. It took me about 3 hours total to complete it.
Shit.
But you get a rocket, and you also get the launch platform for it, which comes with like a beautiful red tower, which is really, really well designed. And the next set that I got, which is like the next biggest set that they've sold, is Dorado. So it's got a facade of like a building in Dorado, and it's kind of done in that kind of Art Nouveau. I think they have a word for it, Pueblo. I think it's like Pueblo Nouveau, which is like Art Nouveau and Pueblo architecture mixed.
Okay,
but it's basically like Mexican Art Nouveau. So it's a really nice Dorado facade, and it comes with a truck, like one of those hover trucks. And the set features Reaper again, so that's why Reaper is not exclusive to one set. He's in two of them. And it also comes with McCree and Soldier 76. And they're both really, really nice. All these minifigures are completely unique and beautiful and use a whole bunch of new parts, which is really, really nice. Then the next biggest set afterwards is a set that comes with two figures. It comes with Reinhardt and with Diva in her mecha.
Those are the ones that I fucking think are the best.
They're really, really nice. If you can find them, I actually recommend you pick them up. They're beautiful.
Does Reinhardt have a little tiny guy in the suit?
Yes, he does.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember.
You can take Reinhardt out of the suit and stick him as a little man, and he's got a face without the helmet too.
Yeah.
So he's got like swappable face, which is nice. And then Diva's got all of her mecha, and it looks fantastic. It's just like a beautifully built. I don't think I've ever gotten a set that had that many pink pieces in it, which is really cool. So it's nice to get a whole bunch of pink pieces. It looks really unique, sitting amongst all my other sets.
I actually don't know of many Legos that are pink.
The only Lego that I can think of that had pink as a primary color is like the Lego Friends stuff, which is like the pink aisle Lego toy.
Yeah.
And Lego Friends is actually a pretty great theme with some really nice sets, but it's mostly just kind of not to my interest as much as I actually love the colors that they use.
Yeah.
And there used to be there was an old Lego theme in like the 90s called Paradisa, which was a really, really good Lego theme that was kind of beach themed, and it had a lot of nice sandy pink and green kind of colors that I thought looked really lovely. Very vaporwave looking, actually.
Ooh.
But those were in the 90s. That was a pretty old theme. Yeah. They're very cool, though. Look it up, Lego Paradisa. Some of those sets are beautiful. So yeah, that set is really nice. Then the next smallest set, and this is probably the smallest set that comes with any sort of building, is it's basically a set that features Hanzo and Genji, and them fighting like in that Overwatch short there.
Yeah, the Hanamura.
Yeah, so it comes with the Hanamura temple, and the sword and stuff, and it's got a little kind of Yakuza dude who's running around in it, which is cool. So it's just a nice little Asian kind of inspired design. Reminds me a lot of like a build from.
Oh, you cut off.
So lots of. Oh, sorry. Reminds me of a build from Lego Ninjago.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a nice kind of little Asian inspired build, and then the smallest set. And I think this is really cool because it's not expensive, but it features Tracer in it as an exclusive figure. It's the only way you can get Tracer and Widowmaker is just a little set that features the Overwatch drone, the little satellite drone from the museum. And it just comes with Tracer and Widowmaker, and they can fight in it. It's cool.
Sick.
It's just a nice little build that
10 on 10 Lego sets.
It's an extremely cheap way to get a Tracer minifigure. It's like only $10 or something for like the set. Well, so it's a nice little build. So yeah, you can get Widowmaker and Tracer exclusively only in that set for pretty inexpensive, which is nice. I did get a bunch of other Lego sets too. Like I got 2 new Lego Batman sets, as well as the new Lego Captain Marvel set that came out, which features the Quinjet from the 90s and Captain Marvel and a Skrull. But those aren't terribly interesting. That's more just kind of in line with my likes and my collecting. So I'll leave the details about those out. But suffice it to say, yeah, these Lego Overwatch sets are actually, like, they didn't skimp out on their design or even like at the price per part ratio for any of them. They're all very much worth the money that you pay for them. And some of them are extremely inexpensive, like the Genji and Hanzo one. Not a very expensive set. And the set for both Reinhardt and Diva, the price per part ratio is extremely good. Like you're getting a lot of bang for your buck with that thing because it's not super expensive for 2 really nice exclusive figures and builds. Like there's no, except for Reaper being in 2 sets, every minifigure is exclusive to that set only. And they all look really nice. Prints. Exactly. Those face prints you can't get anywhere else. Those weapon builds or body prints for some of them too. You can't get anywhere else. Some of them have exclusive like helmet pieces and hair pieces that are totally unique to these figures that are just, you can't get them anywhere else. It's really, really extremely cool.
Getting that Lego money.
Yeah, Lego did a really good job kind of these Overwatch characters to life in their medium. They've done a great job. And I think with that, we can cover the news.
Yeah, we can delve into the news a little bit. I'm going to nitpick some shit.
Can I talk about this one that I found really funny?
Which one? Yeah, go for it.
So, Matt Pat, who is somebody who I do not like, because I think game theory fucking sucks, and is one of the most toxic and awful fucking things currently happening in gaming YouTube.
But
Don't at me.
that's just a theory.
But that's just a theory. A gay theory. Anyway, MatPat is kind of a piece of shit, and we've been new this for a while.
We done known.
We've been new, but this last week he really fucked up and called attention to his fuck up and proceeded to get publicly fucking executed by Toby Fox on Twitter. Our Lord and Savior Toby Fox.
Sent to Undertale.
Exactly. So, MatPat was streaming a game called Heartbound, which is kind of like a game that a bunch of devs worked a long time on. And he opted not to credit or link to the game on any of the media regarding the stream. So people literally could not find where to access and play this game. And he went on Twitter and, when criticized about this, responded, "Regarding links, we don't tend to link back to the games we're playing. That's not an intentional slight on you. It's just rarely something we do for games that aren't fan-made or free. We'll talk about having a more standard policy around that." And Toby Fox, responding to that extremely stupid and rude and dismissive comment, wrote, "You should link to any game you play. Creators need all the help they can get, and think carefully if you're misleading your audience with how you present your videos. You went too far this time."
And then
got
sent to Undertale.
Goddamn. So yeah, MatPat, the man who infamously gave the Pope a copy of Undertale, just got fucking eviscerated.
That fucking happened. Every time
that
gets brought up, Toby. I fucking lose my shit a little bit. Do you imagine handing a fucking copy of Undertale to the Pope?
No, because that's stupid.
Just imagine it for a second, though.
Imagine you got the opportunity to speak with the Pope, and
you're like, "Here's Undertale. You'll
give him a memory stick with Undertale." The Pope doesn't even own a fucking computer. Like, you're a stupid idiot. So MatPat's fucking dumb, and that hasn't changed. But it seems like a lot less people are willing to put up with this bullshit now, and that's pretty cool. So,
speaking of
I'm looking forward to this year being a bad year for...
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you
off. No.
Speaking of absurd bullshit, Randy Pitchford continues to fuck everything up.
Yeah. So...
And be a piece of garbage.
Randy Pitchford, for everybody who's not familiar with this dude, is basically the former CEO of Gearbox.
He's big Borderlands, man.
Yeah, he is the guy who is behind Colonial Marines and Borderlands and all that shit. He was like the face of the company for a while, too.
Yeah, for like until the company was like, "Hey, were you stealing a bunch of money from people?" And he was like, "Yeah, I was. What about it?" They're like, "Yeah, maybe don't." He's like, "I didn't do it." But
I didn't do it. I didn't do nothing, but we've been new.
But you have 2 Teslas right there, yeah.
So this fucking dumbass, who's already been ousted from the company because he sucks, just got fucking accused by a former lawyer for Gearbox of violating their legal duties to the company. And the accusations against Pitchford include, but are not limited to, and I can't believe I'm reading this shit. The article that I'm reading from on Kotaku calls them sensational accusations.
Yeah.
Basically, that he used company money to purchase and to hold on to child pornography.
Yup.
Yeah.
That he left on a USB drive in a restaurant.
That he proceeded to leave at a USB drive on in a restaurant.
Whoops.
And he claims that he was looking at these videos for an experiment.
Uh-huh.
He was researching, and he didn't know that the people featured in them were minors. But according to information, they were quite minor looking. So More likely than not, Pitchford is a fucking scumbag and who watches and distributes child pornography.
Yeah. So.
Wow. So yeah, go fuck yourself, Randy Pitchford.
That's a
piece of garbage.
That's some grossness. And like, it's a new level of grossness that you couldn't think. Like, I thought he was already scraping the bedrock. But
yeah, he was already known to be a shitty dude. But I didn't assume that he was child porn shitty.
No, I don't think anyone really expected that. But here we are in 2019.
So, yeah. Randy Pitchford is a fucking piece of shit.
Cancelled.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If he wasn't canceled already, the bitch is canceled now. Holy fuck. So Randy Pitchford can honestly die. Fuck that dude.
You know what else needs to die?
What needs to die?
Fallout 76. Except it needs to not die. Because I'm enjoying everything that comes out of this game.
Yeah. So Bethesda fucked up again.
And again.
And again.
So we didn't talk about it last time because I thought it was maybe one of the last things, but on New Year's Day, there was a glitch that didn't account for the new calendar year, so all the fucking nuke launch codes and the game itself pretty much just bugged out. Nukes wouldn't launch anymore. The enemies that would drop the launch code information, they just stopped spawning. The computers in the actual launch site were like, what was it? It was like complete and incomplete, but overlaid on top of each other on the screen. And, there was just a bunch of hashtags instead of words. It was a terrible mess.
Yes.
Because you didn't account for the calendar year.
Fucking yikes.
And in deeper Fallout 76 news...
In deeper Fallout 76 doo-doo.
This is like the newest of the shit pile that keeps shitting on itself, is that most Bethesda games have a dev room where, like, you know, all the items are and stuff.
Yes.
This game is not an exception. It also has a dev room with every item that you could possibly ever want in the game, and some that are not in the game yet. They are slated to be released as DLC and are strong as fuck.
Yeah, they're
some
broken,
players,
essentially.
Of course, have found this room and
because Bethesda can't fucking keep this shit secret to save their lives, of course, people use that shit.
They used it, they got all the items, so now there's the people who know how to do it, running around killing everyone like it ain't no one's business.
And it's ridiculous.
And the fact that they shipped this with this stuff in it is weird. The fact that they're also responding to it by emailing people, they're suspending people's accounts temporarily and being like, hey, we noticed you went to that room. How'd you do that? So they don't even know. So
they're too stupid to figure it out on their own.
Yeah.
So, oh my fucking god.
Yeah. In the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, Fallout 76. All I have to say about this ongoing fucking fiasco that is Fallout 76's entire existence as a game is that I want them to keep fucking up because it just gets funnier every time.
So good. Like, it's amazing how much this is overshadowing Diablo Immortal.
Yeah, it actually is. This is maybe in the way that they wanted the least, the best deflection ever in terms of public opinion. Because now, people couldn't even give half a shit about all the shitty non-projects Bethesda have been engaging in.
Yeah,
now nobody has time to complain about that shitty new Elder Scrolls on the phone that's coming out.
This is putting such a damper on anything that's going to be coming out of Bethesda in the next couple of years.
Oh yeah, and I've heard rumors that they want to rush Elder Scrolls 6 to release.
They should not do that.
They
need to
they should not do that.
Develop a new game engine because it's fucking dying, clearly.
Oh my god, yeah.
Right. Let's
So yeah,
and go through this. Have you ever played Dragon's Dogma?
I have not, but I've heard many a thing.
It is coming to the Switch, and I hard recommend that.
I will be playing this because it is coming to the Switch, and that sounds good to me.
It's like Monster Hunter meets a fighting game meets not Diablo, DMC.
Okay, so I'm gonna be into it. That sounds fucking good.
It's fucking great. It's cool. And it's coming to the Switch is really cool.
I still need to get on that Dark Souls flex, but yeah, I'm hyped for that.
It's
that
the best Berserk game that isn't a Berserk game.
Okay, I'm into it. That sounds like a glowing endorsement.
Yeah, it's really fucking good. And like that's not I mean it's the best Berserk game. That's
yes,
there's no good Berserk games.
What about the Dreamcast games?
Nah.
No. No. They have good music.
They are Berserk games, but
they have fantastic original soundtracks.
They're about the newest Berserk games that you can get.
They're about the best Berserk games that you can play anyway, because Berserk and the Band of the Hawk fucking sucks.
And in news that I'm excited for,
yeah,
Grand Blue Fantasy, which is a gacha game.
It's a gacha RPG
on mobile phones,
which I will say my knowledge of extends solely to the really good TV anime.
I don't even know. I know nothing about this because I fucking avoid that shit. But the people who own Grand Blue were like, hey, how about we turn this into a thing? So they got Arxis to make them a fighting game, and they got Platinum Games to make them action RPG.
Both sound right up my fucking alley because Grand Blue is really fucking cool and has a great world.
It looks cool. I probably won't care about the world that much. I don't know. I guess I'll have to see. I don't know anything about it.
I think you will.
It seems very...
Honestly, Ben, you should watch the anime. It's fantastic. Like, the Grand Blue Fantasy anime is genuinely very good.
Well, I'll check it out, and I'll get back to you next week with that.
Please do. It kicks ass. And the dub is good, too.
Did you watch the gameplay demo for the fighting game from Arxis?
I did, and it looked really fantastic.
It looks fucking sick.
Like all Arxis games, it looks great.
Yeah. And the Platinum game looks pretty much like the Arxis game, except that it's going to be quote-unquote character action. I think it'll be kind of like Nier, where it's more of an RPG character action, air quotes, but there's not really...
It probably has elements of character action games to its combat system, but for the most part will play like your standard,
It'll play like Nier Automata, I think. Where
that's kind of what it looked like to me.
Yeah, because Nier Automata isn't a character action game, but it super is.
Yeah, it's super duper is, yeah.
So I'm fucking hyped for that.
Yeah, that's gonna be really, really cool. And it's just nice to see something happening with Grand Blue that isn't the mobile game.
Yeah,
because the mobile game, from what I understand, is actually pretty good.
They're making it a thing now.
I've been told, like, at its best moments, the mobile game resembles like Final Fantasy, which seems really cool. Like, it's a gacha style game.
Yeah,
but it's not like. It's not your standard gacha game. It is like a full-fledged, actually pretty good RPG.
Bullshit.
So,
I might check it out then on the phone.
I've heard it's good, but I don't want to give my money to a.
Fast forward to 2 weeks later, where I'm fucking poor and living in the streets because Grand Blue.
Yeah, Grand Blue Fantasy sucked all the money out of your bank account. But I've heard actually pretty good things about it. So. But I really like the anime a lot, so I'm interested in this.
I'm gonna check out the
cool.
anime, and I'll get
anime
back
is
to you
fucking
on it.
good.
And in the last bit of news, I guess, before we call this one, Bravely Default Twitter account says a new game is in development, which
Tokyo RPG Factory are awesome. They make really good fucking games. They have made games that... Let's see. So they made Final Fantasy IV Heroes of Light, which is one of the most fun and difficult throwback RPGs I've ever played. and it's an underrated gem for the DS. They also made the first two Bravely Default games, and they made Octopath Traveler.
Oh, it's them that made Octopath Traveler. Shit.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, that's why
Octopath
Battle. That's why Octopath's battle system plays like Bravely Default.
So, yeah, I dodged a lot of Octopath because I did want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to play it a bit less now, from what I've heard, but eh.
I gotta say, after having beaten it, I liked it. It's not what I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But I had a good time regardless.
Fair enough.
It's a lot closer to something like Final Fantasy IV Warriors of Light than it is to any of the other games.
Well, I mean, the thing right now, too, is this... They don't really... It's not clear if it's going to be a new Bravely Default series tie-in or if it's going to be a whole new IP.
Yeah.
It's still pretty unclear. But I would very much like for the Bravely Default
I would love
to continue. I don't know how the second one ends. I don't even know how the first one ends. All I know is that there is a second one, so it's got to end on something.
Bravely Second is pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I remember the demo. Well, I mean,
the story is great.
Yeah, I told you the demo was like the whole reason
you
even started Bravely Default. So.
Oh yeah, no. So you're gonna like 2.
Good. And hopefully 3 is gonna be not too far away.
And if it's not 3, Bravely Third or whatever you want to call it, then it might be at the very least set in the same world or something, and that would be really, really cool. Because I love this world. I think it's really fun.
It's one of the hardest driving forces of the whole game, honestly. Like,
oh yeah, just kind of getting to see more of that world.
Yeah, and Eisenberg, as spread out and not great as it is a still really cool feeling lived in desert, you know? Like,
oh yeah,
feels like the society there actually makes sense. Besides the fact that whole goddamn town is built on running actual flowing lava.
Yeah, which is really stupid.
It would be so hot there and literally unlivable. But
yeah, it would be completely unlivable.
And there's I don't know if it comes in later or whatever, but that staircase at the city that just brings you down to the lake of lava doesn't make any sense. But I don't know if that has any story relevance later. So don't.
It does slightly.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's still very dumb.
Yeah.
Because lava is oftentimes so hot that even if you go near it, you'll evaporate.
Yeah, it'll melt your town.
Yeah, so that's really stupid. But whatever.
Oh man, I really liked the whodunit in Eisenberg.
Yes!
I was like, what?
I love that mission.
Fucking out of left field. Did not see that coming.
And you get a nice asterisk out of it.
Oh yeah, you do. That ninja asterisk is so good.
That thing is, I mean... Tiz's outfit with the ninja asterisk is the reason why I keep him. He's got a fucking Oni mask that hangs off the side of him like a Japanese festival mask. It's badass.
And
that shit is really good.
I think that pretty much kills this podcast.
I want to say this is the best sounding episode we have ever done.
Yes.
Hands down.
2019,
it sounded amazing.
We have evolved.
Yeah.
We're not at our final form yet, but we're getting there.
We're getting there, and it sounds real fucking good. So I'm happy with that shit.
Me too. And my streams have also gotten way better. Do you have anything to plug? You want to plug a thing? You working on anything? Do I have anything
to plug? Am I working on anything?
Make that Lego video. Make that Lego video.
I want to make them Lego videos. So keep an eye out on the channel for them. If I ever have the time, then in the next couple of weeks, I'll start putting them up.
All right.
But I really like that shit, and you know what? It's just, let's call it Ryan's Lego Corner and shit like that. But it's fucking good.
We'll think of a clever name for it.
Yeah, Lego
so
Punx.
Yeah, expect projects coming to the channel.
That aren't just the podcast.
Yeah, that aren't just the podcast. We're gonna.
There's definitely some shit that I want to put out there.
Yeah, we're looking for. I'm looking for Let's Play things and just kind of a bit of everything. Other than that, you can catch me at Scratch Me Silly on Twitch. So Twitch TV/Scratch Me Silly, all one word. My schedule, I'll post it tonight. I'm gonna try and make it pretty. But yeah, I'll have a schedule up there by tonight. It should be Mondays and Fridays. And as for the podcast, we're still discussing when we're gonna be doing that.
Yeah, we're gonna figure that shit out.
Yeah.
Just because my Wednesdays are no longer free for the most part, but
Yeah.
we'll figure some shit out.
It ain't no thing.
Even if we have to do it on the weekends in the evening like this, like I could go over to your place and we could do it then.
Well, I mean, honestly,
we'll figure that shit
the
out.
evenings would be better.
Yeah, we'll figure that. We'll figure it out.
We'll get it.
Because I have some classes that go into the evening now.
Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of whack, but that's how my schedule worked out.
That's
this semester.
how it be sometimes.
But thankfully, it's only for a semester, and there's actually going to be in a couple of months. Actually, if I could, let me just drag that schedule up real quick because it's on here. It's on my computer over here. Yeah, so there's actually going to be a period where Tuesday, basically, my schedule is going to clear Tuesday and Friday. Actually, Friday would be great. Because Fridays, my schedule from 2:35 onwards in the afternoon is going to be completely unoccupied because I have a class that only lasts the first 2 months of school.
Jeez.
And then after that, it's done. So I have like a whole block in my schedule that's going to open up.
All right.
But we can figure it out. Wednesdays, I still only have class starting at 1:35 in the afternoon. So, like, if we would need to do it on Wednesday mornings, do that shit.
I prefer the evenings, just
because
more people are free to actually go on Twitter, and I'm not so groggy.
Exactly. And Friday evenings and afternoons, people are usually out there by that point.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, we can figure that shit out, but
yeah.
Suffice it to say, my schedule will be clearing up relatively soon. As soon as I get all this school shit out of the way, this class ends very early.
And as you can tell from this episode, and as we said a couple of times, because we're super fucking proud, we got good mics, so the podcast
they sound fucking good.
Shit itself anymore, like that one.
Exactly.
Time.
It sounds good over the internet, so we don't always have to do it at your place if we don't have to.
Yeah.
And once we figure out how to get these videos going, we can maybe even have video podcasts.
Hell yeah.
So we'll figure that shit out. Hopefully it's going to work out nice.
I think it will.
But, yeah. So I think that's all pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Bye,
all
Twitch.
Right. Yeah, see y'all. Have yourselves a good evening.